Hey team, this is Nathan from RunDreamAchieve.com. Hope you're all having a great day. Today's topic, I wanted to discuss a question that one of my subscribers had reached out to me in regards to running under the 20-minute 5K barrier, and what types of fartlek workouts would I recommend in order to break that barrier. So in order to run under 20 minutes for the 5K, you have to sustain 6 minutes and 26 seconds per mile for those 3.1 miles, or 4 minutes flat per kilometer for 5 straight kilometers. So again, we always talk about the importance of being able to improve your lactate tolerance. And again, it's very easy for all of us to be able to go out and run easy for a few miles, but it's an art form to run fast. And to do that, you have to stress the body's anaerobic systems and sufficiently, and do it enough times over a long enough period of time where that race pace that you're going for, in your case, trying to break 20 minutes for the 5K, you get that 6:26 mile pace or that 4 flat kilometer pace to feel easy. What I've been trying to, in the past few days, I've been thinking over some of the workouts that I would do in regards to fartlek training, and for certain, I would double the time I was running that I was trying to run for the 5K. So, for example, I would run 40 minutes of fartlek, and not initially, because once you're not very you're not very anaerobically fit when you first start any type of training plan. So you have to work into it. And that's really the philosophy of all the running courses and training plans I have on RunDreamAchieve.com. We talk about periodization, where we stress the athlete for 3 to 4 weeks until the athlete adapts to the stresses and the intensities and the paces that we're aiming for. And then we move to the next intensity. We aim for that for the next 3 to 4 weeks. So it's a step-by-step process. But I would work up to a point where I was doing 40 minutes of 1 minute hard, or followed by 1 minute easy. Those types of workouts I've done over the years so many times, whether I was training for a 5K or the marathon distance. I would focus on really pushing hard for that 1 minute hard pace, running closer down toward my 3K race pace effort for the hard effort, and then running somewhat relaxed for that 1 minute of recovery. Now again, in the early stages of your training, you may want to do 10 minutes of 1 minute hard, 1 minute easy. So it's a total of 10 minutes of 1 minute hard, 1 minute easy. So 5 minutes hard, 5 minutes easy, and then gradually move up to the point where you're doing double the time that you're planning on racing for the distance. Sure, you can run even further than that. There's tons of variations when it comes to fartlek workouts. You can do 5 times 2K, or 5 times 2 minutes of 2 minute hard followed by 2 minutes easy. You can do 10 times 3 minutes of hard, like 3 minute hard, 1 minute easy, 3 minute hard, 1 minute easy, and doing 3 to 4 reps of that. Again, it's not just the fartlek workouts that you really want to focus on too. You definitely want to do that one VO2 max workout per week. And fartlek workouts can be very much like a VO2 max workout, because you're stressing yourself. So you're running much faster for those harder efforts than you're planning on racing for the 5 kilometer event. So again, running at paces that are much faster than goal 5K race pace is key. Again, getting to a point where you can do up to 40 minutes of fartlek workout for going after a 20-minute 5K effort. Again, it's gonna build that strength and stamina that you need to run a very fast 5K. And breaking 20 minutes for the 5K is not an easy task. There are a lot of athletes around the world that are trying to run a 19:59 or faster time. You do have to do those things that are going to set you up for success, and that means training at, near, and far below 6:26 mile pace or 4 minute kilometer pace often enough so that you get that race pace to feel more in control. You're not stressing. You're not, especially not in the early stages of the race. In the latter stages of a 5K, because it's such a highly anaerobic event, you're going to be in pain. I mean, that's where really the mental as well as physical preparation that you put in prior to the start is going to come into play. So you really have to be cognizant of how you're setting up your training. What percentage of your weekly volume are you training at, near, and far below goal race pace? Dr. Joe Vigil, one of the world's top distance running coaches, gave a great presentation. He's also a world-renowned exercise physiologist, and he was talking about some of the world-class Kenyan athletes and Europeans that he has worked with over the years. And he was having a discussion with them, and they were saying that Americans simply do not run a high enough percentage of their weekly volume at fast enough paces, and that's why they're not able to necessarily keep up with, the other world-class athletes. We have great American athletes that are doing great around the world, but at the same time, when you look at other countries like Kenya and Ethiopia, these are dominant countries. What makes them so great? Are they any better than athletes from, the United States of America or in Canada or other parts of the world, Mexico? No, but it's how they're setting up their training is what is distancing them from the other athletes from North America. We're simply not training sufficiently and adequately enough at paces that are much, much faster. And what he said in his speech, one of his presentations, was that they were saying that most Americans run around 20 to 25% of their weekly volume at fast enough paces, whereas the best Kenyan, the African continent, are running closer to around 40 to 45% of their weekly volume at near and far below goal race pace. So fartlek workouts are great in the fact that you can mix it up. You don't have to necessarily start off doing very long fartlek workouts. Start off, in smaller durations, smaller increments, so it's not so demanding on you. Like I said, 10 minutes of fartlek, of 1 minute hard, 1 minute easy, in the early stages of your buildup is going to be difficult at first, because again, your heart isn't as conditioned, you're not as anaerobically fit, so it's going to take some time and effort in order to adapt to that first. And then as you get fitter, you've increased your lactate tolerance. You're going to be able to sustain race pace for a longer period of time, and those harder efforts again, and to a point where you can get out to doing double the time that you're aiming for racing at. So again, if you're wanting to run under 20 minutes, aim for, when you get to your very fittest, get to a point where you're doing 40 minutes of fartlek. So you just have to mix up your training and see what works best for you. Be patient with yourself as you're leading up to your big race. It's going to take time for sure. And like I said, over the years, I've definitely used fartlek workouts. One of my favorites is running for an hour, 1 minute hard, 1 minute easy. And I did those types of workouts for the marathon, but I also did workouts shorter durations of that for preparing for my 5K to half marathon distances. And really, I think, again, it goes back to all the other things we talk about in the other videos as well. Faster, long-paced long runs, doing longer duration tempo runs where you're spending more time at your anaerobic threshold, because that is the point where you're going to be racing at or slightly above your anaerobic threshold when you're running the 5K. So again, you want to be as efficient and economical as you possibly can be once you get to the race. You want to always make sure that the training aspect of your preparation is always the most difficult, so that when you get to the race, there's not going to be anything that your competition is going to be able to throw at you that you have not already encountered in training first. And I always made training the most difficult part. And when I got to a race, especially when I was ready and I was 100% fit, there were very few athletes that could make those surges in the race and get to a point where they could break me. Even at the 2007 California International Marathon, Laban Moibin and John Kathoga of Kenya were doing everything they could those first 20 miles to break me. I mean, there were times where they were throwing in surges, and then times where I was throwing in surges to try to break them as well. These athletes had PRs of anywhere from 2:08 to 2:12 the morning of that race, and here I was, a guy that had a 2:40:02 marathon PR, 1:07:06 half marathon PR. So I was up against some very big boys, and you sometimes you just have to take those risks, but make sure that you are pushing yourself sufficiently and for a long enough period of time, doing fartlek workouts, doing longer tempo runs, making sure you're jogging on recovery days so that you can recover from all these hard workouts you're doing. And once you go into your major race and you've tapered down and you've done everything correctly, you've hydrated well prior to and during and after your workouts, you've gotten plenty of sleep, you've mentally rehearsed this over and over and over again of you breaking 20 minutes for 5 kilometers, and you see that 19:59 on the clock, and you've seen it over and over and over again, you're training your subconscious mind to guide you into where you want to go. And fartlek training is one of the best methods of getting you to that point where you can get race pace to feel more in control, because you're running those hard efforts during those fartlek workouts at much faster paces, more toward like sprint paces, like your mile pace for those hard efforts. Again, you want to sprinkle in a mixture of training at, near, and far below 6:26 mile pace or 4 flat kilometer pace, so that you can get to a point where that pace, where it feels moderate but still difficult, and where you get to the last mile, or the last 1.6 kilometers of the race, and you're able to increase the pace instead of slow down. So I hope this video was helpful for you. If you have any other questions or concerns, feel free to let me know in the comment section below. Let me know what is currently your personal best for the 5K, whether it's under 20 minutes or 25 minutes, maybe you're under 15 minutes, wherever you are. I'd be very interested in hearing where you're currently at and what you did to improve. Definitely share that with the community here at the channel, and because it'll help them as well. So I appreciate your support. Hope this video was helpful for you. And also, like I said, there's always resources below all of my videos, so definitely check those out in the description below. So wish you all the best, and I will talk to you in the next video.